Welcome back, everybody, into another daily recap. Today is Friday, the 29th of October, and we're going to do our usual analysis on what happened on gold, Bitcoin, EuroDollar, and GJ. As always, remember this is the end of the week, end of the month price action. So let's start with gold. As you can see, this morning I was expecting either a bounce of 1789, 1785 for high-risk high-reward buys. My bias was still very bullish for buys after these PSAs over here at 1785. What we saw was that there was no real price action showing the buys setup. Even here at 1785, 1789, there was no buy action that we're going to see now on the high time frame. So unless you took the really high risk high reward sells to take advantage of the pullback below 1795 to revisit these previous lows, there was no real action. As you can see, no real bounce. What was actually clear from the price action was that the sells below 1781, which were the safer sell, were sort of playing out. Let's jump into the 1 minute to see them playing out on the dot. As you can see here, on the morning we were bouncing from 1795, a little deep below. As you can see, not at 1789 price point to continue up. So this was not my price sensitivity area, my area of interest. We see a bullish, but as you can see, very short-lived, 1799, and it's done. After that, just see bearish action. Every bounce from 1795 is smaller, and then we see break, a retest of 1795. This would have been your fast scalp sells to revisit 1785 as per analysis. Would have give you like 100 pips scalp. The point is that, of course, you have to take into consideration that this was 10 minutes, 15 minutes before New York Open, and New York Open could have easily, very easily, made a top week to the 1795 and then continuation down. This time happened that it was straight down, and as you can see, yes, if you took the sells, you got like 99 pips as per high risk, high reward sells, but was still very, very high risk. Why? Because also in half an hour we had very, very important news in the report, especially we had here Friday we had many reports that we are going to see also for the Eurozone that are not here. I will also see another website. We have the PCE, which is also another form of inflation, and we had the PMI. This was later on, and we had the PCE essentially. So we had a much better than expected, so 0.1 less than better than the prior, as sorry, 0.1 less than expected and the same as prior. No increase in the PCE is a good point. It's like saying that the inflation has not increased or is still not too high. And this gave the dollar, gave the dollar a nice bearish push. And as you can see, we had an initial push down, then liquidity grab on upside reacting at those previous highs, and then continuation down with the breaker retest below 1789, very aggressive, and then continuation down to 1776 PSA, already pre-charted as you can see. Then you have the new hourly and 4-hour candle opening here, makes a lower wick, goes back up, but still reacting at these previous lows, not breaking 1785, and then continuation down, creating a double bottom at 1772 key level. As you can see, double bottom after this huge bearish run. And from there, it bounced multiple times from 1776, and then just very slowly back up to 1781 and 1785 PSA. So, as per analysis, I would only say that the sells below 1781 played out because you had stronger confirmation and you had a 1 minute price confirmation, maybe not exactly high risk, high reward here because there was a possibility of bouncing, but as you can see here, you add this PSA and then you add exactly this one, the candle setup, or even here, the candle setup that we backtest every time for quick 45 pips scalp sells. If you took, of course, if you took the sells here below 1781 after seeing a break and a retest with the confidence of the bullish for the dollar, then you have like 80-90 pips out of it. And then we close the month over here with a see monthly candle is closing in 2 days, but it's done very small bullish candle. And the weekly still chugging away from 1680s, still bearish, as you can see. Tap, 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 tapering. Price will go down. That's good. Let's go on Bitcoin. As you can see on Bitcoin, the analysis was playing starting from here. We were expecting a nice bounce at this level, 60,500 or 60 flat, 60,000 of course. And as you can see, price never went below this level, never. So these ideas were all invalid. We never got to get these ideas. What was the idea? Was the buys from there. So what we were looking for was buys. Therefore, as you can see here, start of this session, we have exact bounce of the level. This is below the price point was 60,500 or 60 flat, which is below. As you can see here, you see a huge reaction on your demand area recharted. You can enter anywhere here 6,500 and you can get multiple entries for your buys here, retest of next PPL, and then you get your scalp buys to those previous, to revisit those previous highs on the left. And we are still talking about 90, 85 pips. Nice quick scalp. Of course, next you have a bigger correction. Still price not a single time breaks below 60,500, giving you also other opportunities to entering buys. And with New York volume, you have a break and retest of the next key level, the next PPL, again failing to break below, and then after New York session, never breaking below 61K, and you have an aggressive buy above those previous PSA, break and retest of the PPL, break and retest of the PPL, break and retest of the PPLs, and then again here to 63,000 for a nice bullish run around 195 pips. Of course, if you kept the trade open. But as a scalper, you don't need to take the whole. You can take the entry. You can enter here. As you can see here, this PPL is also corresponding to those previous highs on the left hand side. You can enter above the key level, which was the PSA for the safer buys. Here, intraday close was above 61,700. So you had 15-minute candle closing above the level, lower wick to the key level, and then continuation up for safer buys over 100 pips still, as you can see. You can close it here, 70 pips. Even if you have, maybe if you had 45 pips, no, still active and possible to get your 100 pips. After that, you see a deeper correction, perfectly normal after such a bullish move. And then double bottom, another bounce, and then just trending. As you can see, this was really nice. Still identifying that the price is still on a bullish trend. Bitcoin does it quite often. There's a chugging and then very aggressive, impulsive move. Doesn't really care much about the timing. This was right after London close, just breaking up. Let's go and as you can see, follow nicely the bounce from this level, buys, break and retest of the level again. EuroDollar, as you can see, it followed exactly. So we started this morning, we were around here, we were around this 1.1666, and we were saying that the sells only below this level or the buys above the level. As you can see here, with I risk, I reward 166, 1666, as you can see here, but let me put it here. Oops. 66, okay, over here. So if we are in the morning and we see that the price is above here, above the level, you can even enter and take your entries. These are still 9 pips scalps. So even if you take the high risk high reward buys, the level here, you still are not taking losses. Okay, you don't take the full profit, but you still take like 9 pips of profit. And as you can see that there's reaction on the left hand side. After that, you identify that there's failure to break above, and then you see break and retest 1 time, 2 times of this key level, key area of interest, 1.1666, which is exactly what I was talking about in the pre-analysis. And then, as you can see, so you could have taken those buys above here for like 7 to 8, 9 pips. But still, then you have to identify as a scalper that you have a break and retest after multiple attempts to break and failure to break above the PSA. You have a break and retest of the PSA, break and retest again for safer sells here, exactly on the dot. Not the cleanest price action, but still, how much is it? Still 14 pips. As you can see, we create here, price never breaks above this level. So it actually never goes back above your entry. You might be stopped out at break even, but then still failing to make into new highs, retesting exactly the lows here exactly for further sell entries doing New York with the dollar strength. As you can see here, we have here the report. Now we have the confirm of the dollar strength, and you can take your sells below the key level, which was minimum risk below 1644, which was exactly here. So as you can see, this was also the pre-planned price sensitivity area 1645.4. There you go. As you can see, this was exactly the pre-planned price sensitivity area and the cells below. So you got here high risk high reward cells, safer cells below here, which was exactly, as you can see, was already there over there, giving you these cells. And as you can see, price just continued melting down below the key level, below the previous PSA, bouncing off another PSA, reacting those previous PSAs and lows on the left hand side. As you can see, it's moving exactly between those PSA that we charted in the previous days and moved back to 1.15 for a move of around safer move 100 pips, high risk high reward move 120 pips. Crazy correction of yesterday moves and even further. Let's see on GJ, and before GJ, let's see on the dollar index. I think that also here the EU data was not the best one. Let's see if we have it. Okay, French, Eurozone here. That was actually better. CPI was still high. Look at how high is it? Still above 2%. GDP as prior. So yes, CPI still very high, even further. So that's what also gave this morning at 11. Not a real boost, but still overall bad news for the Eurozone. GJ, as you can see, on GJ, the Japanese index, we are still in this high time frame range. We have made a new lows, but we are still ranging between the level. And as you can see, at this price point, we were this morning waiting for buys above around the 56,500. And as you can see, price never closed below this level, giving you the opportunity for the high risk high reward buys till around the 57 for 50 pips. And of course, the sells below would have paid out afterwards. So after you see this, you exclude the sells. You can only take it in the back of your mind for later on, of a continuation buys at this price point. If you go on a lower time frame, which is here, as you can see, you had multiple bounces from the level. There you go. Multiple bounces. One, two. Price failing to break. You can take these buys, and then you see price rejecting, but still this is 22 pips. And 50 pips with the high risk reward buys. This here is clear that the price is not going down. If after making these highs, then if JSs go down, yes, it's fine. You can still shift. You get stopped out, but you can still shift because you see, okay, now this is a confirmation of the sells. That's why this is a high risk high reward entry. But after you see the price is ranging above, and again it's failing to break, you can take this entry. After that, what you see is a very strong correction and bearish move. I don't know if there was any Brexit headlines. You have a double top, and after that, just price reacting, failing to break, failing to make new highs, and again, as you can see now, at this point, do you have enough information for shifting your buys to the one that was done in the morning for the sells below around the 56.5? Let's see if you have a checklist. So you have the first rejection here. You have a second rejection here. So you have information of price trending, because now what you have, break and retest is retesting the PSA after a clear bearish move, after retesting those previous lows and continuing down, breaking below the PPL. Yes, you have further big enough checklist for taking sell scalps, possibly to here for like 45 pips, 42 pips. If you keep them running, you get 260 pips. Of course, you can take partials with the price at break even, still clearly price going bearish. Maybe you can take full out here when you see price is not able to make new lows, and then still around the 55.8, even around the 56 was broken, and that's it. So you have enough confirmation of entering either here, here, and here. So at the same price point, in two different situations, the same day, you have the confirmation of two different biases. One is bias here, first tops, double bottom, and then after having a double top, break and retest, confirmation of price trending, and a break and retest of the PPL. And as I already showed you, you have the DXY that was very, very strong, bullish, broke above 93.4, 93.7, 93.9, 94. We are now retesting this PSA. As you can see, it reacted exactly to those previous PSA, and we are still not have retested those previous highs, but we are very close to it. Next week is the start of a new month, the one that is expected to be very, very good for the dollar with the tapering coming in. But this is it, guys, for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.